Yo, what's going on? Jan Moses here from Broth Cindy, bringing you another episode of the Blueprint series, a series where I share my thoughts on the state of my team and talk about milestones that I've accomplished in my team. And what a milestone that I just accomplished. We got the final agenda for Galaxy Opal Jayson Tatum completed. What a grind. I mean, the grind for DeMar DeRozan, I thought was okay in terms of the actual work that had to be put in to get the card. But this Jayson Tatum grind, I don't know if I've ever engaged with a grind for a card like this one before. I mean, there were a number of agenda challenges for him or for the players that you needed to get for him that weren't bad at all. I guess it's now in completed season agendas. I like the way that they broke it down division by division. And it was pretty cool, just like with the moments of the month, to get all these players just from playing the game. And a lot of these, as I just mentioned, were pretty easy. I mean, like, for every division, you had to win a triple threat offline game, essentially, because no one's taking three Knicks players into TT online. I mean, unless you really want to. And then from there, you could see that's an offline challenge. That's an offline challenge. And then you start to get into, I don't want to say the trickier agendas, but I will say playing TTO with Jose Calderon was not a great time. But there were online agendas that were significantly worse than that one. Let's first start with ones that weren't too terrible. Andrew Bogut, solid center for offline play. Don't get me wrong. I mean, gives you great defensive, I guess, minutes. I would say on offense doesn't really give you much of anything else besides a pick and roll big man. But taking him into online gameplay was kind of tricky because people knew how to off ball on Andrew Bogut and they would box him out, not let him get rebounds. It was pretty annoying playing with him. Who else was really annoying besides the main ones that I want to talk about? These ones were kind of tricky where you had to get, 30 or 40 points with a player along with X amount of rebounds or assists. Like, I think it's 6 assists for Kevin Wilson and 14 rebounds. Yeah, for Otto Porter Jr. But the great thing about these agendas is we had the Tim Legler challenges. We had the what's it called? Sorry, I'm getting a Discord call from Shiz. I have to hop into a call for our stream, but I wanted to get this video out really, really quickly. We had the Tim Legler challenges. We had the Hunt for Glory challenges. Those made it really easy for us, in my opinion, to get these agendas done. But then you move on to the two hardest challenges that I want to talk about, and I want to start with the Marcus Camby blocks in multiplayer games. And I think it's hilarious that a Diamond Marcus Camby is needed to get 11 blocks in online play, a card that has, I don't think, a very high three-point rating at all, versus if you look at the Pink Diamond Lopez right here, 8 blocks over multiple games. Multiple games can be offline games. That's how I got Lopez's done. And Lopez has a 3-ball. You can't sag off of Lopez. So the Marcus Camby agenda was pretty difficult. I got lucky. I took him into TT Online, and I played against an absolute scrub. I had Marcus Camby guard his point guard, and he kept trying to shoot jump shots over him, and I kept blocking them. So that was great. But then I took Pink Diamond Tim Hardaway into clutch time, and let me tell you, if I didn't have an opponent who recognized what I was doing and I recognized what he was doing because he had Diamond Hersey Hawkins, who I think needs points in clutch time or whatever, and we both started to sag off of each other's agenda player. If that didn't happen, I may never have gotten Jayson Tatum because it is easier, in my opinion, to get blocks than it is to get open looks at 4-point shots. And I missed so many open 4-pointers with Tim Hardaway. It was not like with the Devontae Graham for the DeMar DeRozan agenda. It was genuinely painful. It really was. But nevertheless, we're here. We have Jayson Tatum. I do want to quickly shout out a couple of players that I think are pretty useful. DeAndre Ayton, I think, is going to be the ultimate no money spent pink diamond center. His release is a little wonky. I don't like that I can't consistently green with him, but he's still a really good card. He gets blocks like crazy. And then I don't know if I can remember what division he's in. The Larry Hughes card. This Larry Hughes is actually a really good defensive point guard. I like him quite a bit. When I ran the playoff push central clutch time game, he had like 3 steals in that game for me. He was, phenomenal. I really, really like this card a lot too for people that don't want to spend a lot of MT. They just want to grind for their cards. This Larry Hughes can play for you at the point guard spot and is not going to be a total zero for you on offense or defense. So with that being said, let's go ahead and open up our pack for the Jayson Tatum card. I hope we get more grinds like this. I really do. I anticipate us getting another Moments of the Month tomorrow. 2K put out a tweet saying that we're going to have 1 day left, which is going to be today, to get DeMar DeRozan if you have not gotten DeRozan already. And DeRozan isn't even going to see the floor for me because now I have Jayson Tatum. And this Tatum card, they fixed his release. Apparently he's very, very good. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to throw him into my backup small forward spot because I don't want to get rid of LeBron just yet. So there's Jayson Tatum, which is pretty great. And since we're talking about Moments of the Month, why not quickly talk about who I think we're going to get for the January Moment of the Month. I thought it was going to be Joel Embiid. He just got a Galaxy Opal card, I think on Friday. Yeah, like 2 days ago, he got one as part of the Flash set, which is kind of disappointing because I just feel like Embiid is not, like, he's a big name, but his card is not really a meta card in my team. And I feel like we could have gotten him as the Moment of the Month card, and it would have been totally fine. I mean, he's going for 400K, and he's not a bad card at all. Like, don't get me wrong. This Embiid is an absolute monster, but I feel like it would have been nice to have gotten him as the Moments of the Month card. I still do think we are going to get a center for Moments of the Month, and I think that center is going to be, where's Dunktober? I think it's going to be a Galaxy Opal, I almost said Pink Diamond, a Galaxy Opal Nikola Jokic. This Dunktober card is the last updated Nikola Jokic that we've gotten. That isn't like a heat check or a base set card. And this card came out on October 1st, I believe. And I think Jokic could be a really fun card. You know, when he first came out, this Dunktober version, I really liked him because I thought he gave us something that we were not going to really see for quite some time at the center position. You know, we have plenty of centers that can, you know, shoot the 3-ball. I mean, even like back then, back in early October, plenty of centers that can shoot the 3 and will give you solid defense and can rebound the ball, but not many centers were the playmaker that Nikola Jokic was. And his 4 Hall of Fame badges were all excellent badges, especially if you like to run pick and roll and then operate out of the post if you had a mismatch. This Jokic was an absolute threat, backing someone down on the post, and if he got double teamed, kicking it out, and because of the Hall of Fame bullet passer and needle threader, getting the ball to the open man in time, and then with Hall of Fame dimer, obviously boosting the chance of you getting a shot to go down with your open man. So I love this Jokic card. He was a huge part of my run for Gary Payton, and I'm hopeful that we get him as the January Moment of the Month headliner tomorrow. That would be fantastic. I would love that. And, you know, speaking of centers, because I just mentioned Joel Embiid, I'm talking about a potential Nikola Jokic. I think I mentioned in a previous Blueprint Series episode, or maybe it was a podcast that I did with Harry, about the state of the center position in my team and how the NBA 75 David Robinson had really held his value for a really, really long time. And that was mostly because we haven't gotten a center to really challenge him in terms of a big center who can spread the floor in terms of shooting the 3-ball well, having a solid mid-range, being quite tall, and then being an absolute menace on defense, while also having, I think, 80-plus speed. Am I right in that? 84 speed. Yeah, I mean, this card, I think, came out in early November and is still one of the better centers in this game. I mean, you can see there's only one up at a buy now, and it has no diamond contract, no diamond shoe, and no added badges. and it just got posted 13 minutes ago. It's honestly insane. But we've gotten the Joel Embiid that I mentioned. We've gotten Kristaps Porzingis, who came out a couple of Fridays ago. I just sold mine, however, because there was a leaked image that was shared on Twitter and Reddit and eventually on YouTube showing players that we are going to be getting for a Lunar New Year promo, I believe this coming Tuesday. And everyone is very much excited because one of those players is a Pink Diamond Wang Zhizhi. This Wang Zhizhi Ruby card has been a staple, especially for limited games, but even on budget squads that I've seen in clutch time, for example. This Wang Zhizhi has been an absolute staple for those teams, and he still is a really, really solid center card. I mean, his Ruby has an 89 three-point shot, has, I think, low 70s, like a 72 speed with a 70 lateral quickness, and very, very good badges. I think his Pink Diamond card is going to be incredible, and I feel like a lot of people are getting kind of lost in the sauce when it comes to this, upcoming Wang Zhizhi, and not realizing just how good the Yi Jianlian could be that's coming on Tuesday as well as a Galaxy Opal card. I was trying to look back on previous, my teams to see what the Yi Jianlian looked like in NBA 2K21 and NBA 2K20, and the closest versions of him that I could find were an out-of-position version that came out at the end of last year in 2K21, and then a power forward, small forward version of him that came out in May of 2020 for NBA 2K20. And the interesting thing about this Yi card is he's going to be a power forward center, according to that leaked image, which is great because he's 7 feet tall with a 7'4" wingspan. And for the people that are running a pace and space coach like myself, who's running Quinn Snyder, I love running tall power forwards at the center spot because the centers in this system do not get a boost to their three ball. However, can I show? Okay, this is my limited lineup. Hold on. Let's go to my main lineup here. If you look at players that are at the power forward spot that have an excellent fit in this system, they get a boost to their speed and their three-point rating, which is going to be great because I think that's going to make Yi Jianlian, for me, potentially a must cop and potentially a center that I need to have on my team that'll start for me. And I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot with over 1 million MT, and I mean we have a fair amount of tokens as well because I'm waiting for a better card to enter the token market that's not named Baron Davis. But I just think that this Yi Jianlian card could be an absolute monster, and I'm hopeful that he'll be affordable. If not, I'm sure the Wang Zhizhi will be really, really good. And honestly, the Wang Zhizhi, I think if you were to compare the prices when they come out on Tuesday, is going to be the better bet for you to pick up because I think the difference between the Galaxy Opal Jianlian and the Pink Diamond Wang Zhizhi is not going to be enough to warrant the difference in price between the two of them. I also want to quickly go over the NBA 75 players that are remaining because I thought we were going to get Galaxy Opal headliners for every decade. I think we're going to get Dark Matter ones because I didn't realize how many cards we had left. Those players are Carmelo Anthony, Rick Barry, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Dave DeBusschere, Walt Frazier, Kevin Garnett, Elvin Hayes, Allen Iverson, Dame Lillard, Jerry Lucas, Pete Maravich, Earl the Pearl, Hakeem the Dream, Robert Parrish, Gary Payton, Bob Pettit, Bill Sharman, and last but not least, a player that I'm really eager to get in this game potentially, Dolph Schayes. There are a lot of players left on that list, which makes me feel like we have at least a month left of getting NBA 75 cards. A couple of players that I'm interested from that list that I mentioned, the Melo and the Walt Frazier, I just want to get them because they're Knicks players. And then the centers are going to be interesting because, again, my center position on my team is really, really lacking, and I'm eager to get that Yi Jianlian or the Wang Zhizhi or both. But the Hakeem Olajuwon and the Wilt Chamberlain NBA 75 cards should be fantastic. And last but not least, I mentioned the Dolph Schayes. I really want to see what a Galaxy Opal Gary Payton looks like. And I feel like that's a good segue for me to start talking about my lineup because I benched Gary Payton for Jeremy Lin. And I said, I believe on this channel, that I was not going to be benching Gary Payton's Pink Diamond until we got his NBA 75 Galaxy Opal version. And I ended up benching him for Jeremy Lin because Jeremy Lin, in my opinion, is a Gary Payton clone with better offense and better badges. If we were to compare the two right now, just so I could show you what I'm talking about, Gary Payton does have an inch on Jeremy Lin, and he's going to have a better post game. But Jeremy Lin is the better shooter. He's the better finisher around the rim. The block. I want to take a second to talk about the block because I thought that 62 block versus 80 block was not going to be really that different. I stand corrected completely. Jeremy Lin blocks shorter point guards that are driving on him, taller point guards that are driving on him, and he even blocked, in a TTO game that I played, Kristaps Porzingis twice under the rim while Porzingis was backing him down and drop stepping him and trying to get dirty under the rim. Pause. But honestly, though, at the same time, I've been clamoring about how Porzingis in real life has no post game. Like, your next door neighbor has more post game than Kristaps Porzingis, and that's just facts. But in this game, Porzingis is a god on the post. He greens every post fade. He's great at drop stepping. This Jeremy Lin in that game was having none of that. Swatted him twice. This Jay Lin is one of the best rim protectors I've seen. I mean, it's honestly hilarious. I love how good he is at blocking shots. Rebounding, it is what it is. And then his speed, you can see, is pretty much on par with Gary Payton, and with Quinn Snyder, he's going to give him a 99 speed. I may give him a shoe, and I might end up giving him a diamond contract, even though it's more affordable to just keep throwing silver contracts on him, but whatever. Let's go to the badges, though, because the badges, I think, is really where the Jeremy Lin shines. Let's start with Gary Payton, though. All of his badges that are Hall of Fame are on the defensive side of the ball. This Jeremy Lin, though, has very similar defensive badges in terms of Pick Dodger, Clamps, and Menace, which are three of my favorite badges on the defensive side of the ball. He also comes with Intimidator, which is great. But Floor General Hoff, for me, is a game changer. Gary Payton has it on gold, I believe. But to have it on Hall of Fame, I think, really does help the rest of the team. He's also a Nick, Jeremy Lin. I mean, he'll always be a Nick. He was put on the map because of Linsanity, and this is a Linsanity card. I'm going to rock with this Jeremy Lin for right now. I love Gary Payton. Gary Payton is still my favorite card that I've used in my team this year. But it's time for a change. I want to mix it up. And when I'm running Clutch Time, which is my predominant online game mode, I'll be mixing and matching between these two. But as of right now, it's going to be Jeremy Lin. The next new addition to my team is Andre Kirilenko. And honestly, I wasn't looking to add him, but I've never had Andre Kirilenko on my team, so I wanted to see what all the hype was about. And the Andre Kirilenko that I have right here, I bid sniped, kind of, for like 52K when he was going for like, I think 57, 58K. And he came with 4 additional Hall of Fame badges, I believe. And those 4 are Difficult Shots, Break Starter, and more importantly, Green Machine and Blinders, which is fantastic. This AK-47 card is great. I'm trying to get better with his release, but that release is so easy to green for the most part. It's a me problem, not a him problem. I love the AK-47 card. And then I have DeAndre Ayton right here. As I mentioned, my centers right now, I'm kind of in a waiting period. I want to see what the cards that are coming out at the center position look like. I expect us to get a number of centers. I mentioned all the cards that I expect to come and that I know are coming to our game in the near future. And I'm just eager to see who we're going to get because, I mean, Ayton is fine. I just struggle to green his shot. And Serge Ibaka is great, but I just don't want to have Serge Ibaka playing meaningful minutes for me if I'm running an unlimited game, which I rarely ever do. I just got Kazi Russell, by the way. I got super lucky in TT Online. I actually got him twice in the same ball drop, which was amazing. His release is insane. This card is an absolute monster on offense. I'm just not totally sure if I want to stick with him or if I want to go back to Dr. J. I think for right now, I'm going to go back to Dr. J. But if I end up running unlimited more and I feel like I'm not getting enough offense from my bench, then I will go to Kazi Russell because Dr. J can score really well, but I feel like Kazi can create his shot a little better than Dr. J can, and I may need that just in general to have another player that can create for me off the dribble. And last but not least, I want to quickly talk about Klay Thompson because we got a Galaxy Opal Klay, and I still think that if you have the right badges on the Diamond Klay Thompson, it really isn't worth it to spend the extra MT on the Galaxy Opal one unless you really want the headband on your Klay Thompson. And I may end up getting the Galaxy Opal Klay later on down the road, but as of right now, this glitched Klay Thompson he's still so good. His badges are still great. I know he doesn't have a lot of the key shooting badges on Hall of Fame like the Galaxy Opal one does, but I think they're going to play very similarly. This one comes with Hall of Fame quick first step stock, which is clutch. I just don't see a reason for me to upgrade from this Klay Thompson. I mean, just because a card has a higher rating or a higher tier doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be rated better or anything. I mean, if I were to compare the Serge Ibaka right now to, I think, Brook Lopez, I mean, the Diamond card has 3 better offensive rating than the Pink Diamond. I know that isn't the end-all, be-all, and that the Pink Diamond Lopez has more Hall of Fame badges, but I just think it's easy to overlook a card and just look at the rating. But this Klay Thompson, I think, stands out as maybe still the best Diamond card in this game right now, maybe alongside Penny Hardaway. So anyways, that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed. I think my next upload that's going to be 2K related should be with Harry at the end of the season or maybe mid-season for a podcast. We may also do another podcast that's on a totally different topic later on this week. Tune in for that. And last but not least, I want to give Shiz a major shout out. He has been crushing it on this channel and on Twitch. I'm going to be featured, I think, in a couple of the Pokemon Legends of Arceus/Arceus videos in his series, and we're doing a Danganronpa playthrough on Twitch that's also being uploaded to YouTube, I believe. So major shout out to Shiz. He's been dominating it in every facet of the game. Please tune into our streams whenever either of us or both of us are on, just to show support if you can. It would be great, and it would be greatly appreciated as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I'll see you later.